I've talked a lot about this, but we've gone back into the archives with the Jakari Jackson report from last year, actually a year and a half ago, and Bill and Melinda Gates' statements and their own patents and their own research, as well as the Rockefeller Foundation, and are going to be putting together a very clear picture, confirming what Dr. Francis Boyle said here last Friday. In fact, we should probably just get the intro of his interview last Friday where he talks about Zika for about 5 minutes, where he discusses top biological weapons experts that he's in consultation with. And, of course, he wrote the U.S. and UN Biological Weapons Treaty that was ratified back in the 90s. So that gives you an idea of the level of his gravitas. And he said, unquestionably, it is a bioweapon, and it's being race-specifically delivered. That means it's not race-specific, and then it only attacks certain races of humans, certain variants of humans, certain, I think, breeds of humans is better. We're all one race. Different varieties of humans, as race-specific does. But what it does is it basically is being deployed into areas in Latin America, but now spreading all the way into Texas, and is being sexually transmitted and causes horrific birth defects. But there's a whole host of other pathogens in the vaccines and other areas that also cause the same birth defects and the same syndromes. And I kept asking myself, until about 6 years ago, they always said in the news and in the medical inserts with vaccines and everywhere, if you're pregnant, do not take a vaccine. Because it was known to cause autoimmune disorders in children. It was known to cause miscarriages from 3 months to 8 months. It was known to cause all sorts of serious rejection problems, you name it. And for the same type of disorders that Zika has been documented to cause. And so you look at the numbers that investigative journalist John Rappaport's gone over, we have a lot more of these developments of deformities, the children's heads being much smaller here in the United States and Europe, the microencephaly, than you see actually in places like Brazil and other areas where Zika is spreading to hundreds of thousands. So is this a cover that they're saying the mosquito is causing it, but really it's what's being now introduced to the environment? It's like, take Brazil again. You can look up these articles. Brazil had one of the lowest rates of breast cancer in the world until they adopted glyphosates, Roundup, and other weed killers in the same family in the last 20 years or so. And now their numbers are skyrocketing. Europe had low breast cancer levels till they brought in glyphosates, which we know grow the exact type of tumors that are most common in women's breast. It grows them. In fact, it is hormone-dependent cancers, is the whole family of them. So it's a weed killer, but it's a cancer grower in mammal tissue. That's why you see such an explosion in prostate cancer in men. I mean, this is well-established, well-known, well-developed research and facts. So we're dealing with all of this, and we're trying to suss out exactly what's going on. Because a lot of times, like with HIV, it'll be the cover for what's really killing people, a whole other different group of viruses. And I was told that back in the 1980s by my father, who pulled out medical literature and showed it to me. And then I asked him, I said, Dad, I ought to make him get in here and do an interview sometime. I asked him, how do you know that? And he said, well, I've been told that by high-level people in the Dallas medical community. Dr. Group's coming in to break this down today. I knew the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation bought out the Rockefeller Foundation for all their weaponized cancer and weaponized sterilant research that's been declassified. I knew that they were heavily involved in developing these genetically engineered mosquitoes to, quote, deliver vaccines and, quote, other forced treatments on the public because they love us so much. I knew that going back to the 20s, the Rockefeller Foundation had already patented weaponized cancer that could be injected. That's mainline history, folks. Just search engine Rockefeller Foundation, cancer viruses, weaponized cancer. But then when you actually read deeper, this is what Group brought in this morning and pointed out. And sure enough, I'd even noticed a article on CNN that we just showed saying, look where Zika came from. First, they were claiming that it came from somewhere in South America. Now they go, oh, Zika's birthplace is Uganda, just like Ebola and everything else, where they have these big globalist and UN research labs where they've been caught testing on people forever. And, of course, you've got Bill Gates releasing mosquitoes inside crowds of people and making jokes and saying, we've got to save the earth and bring one of these numbers down to zero. And the one number, of course, that he brings to zero is humanity. And the TED TV crowd laughs. We're going to bring all those clips back up today and play them in the third hour. It's going to be very, very important. But guess what Dr. Group found from atc.org, and this database of the federal government and private organizations as well. Zika virus, ATCC VR84, the depositor and patenter and owner of it is the Rockefeller Foundation, 1947. Yeah. How do you think this virus gets over from Africa magically, and then it gets souped up like Dr. Boyle, the biologist, the political scientist, the Harvard lawyer, it's quite a pedigree, the author of the Biological Weapons Treaty that was ratified, saying everything points towards it being weaponized Zika. Absolutely, because Zika wasn't wreaking havoc in Africa. Now Zika just magically is showing up and causing all these massive birth defects, so they tell you, you better not have kids until 2018. But now we're going to spray billions of dollars of chemicals all over your jungles and forests. Now we're going to have all these testing labs and screening processes to make sure you don't have Zika. If you get bitten by Zika and you're a woman and you're pregnant, you have a chance of having a problem. If you're a man, you just get a light fever. But the point is, you know it's coming, and sure enough, I search engined it last night. They're rush developing a Zika vaccine. Oh, I'm sure there'll be some side effects that, let me just guess, are going to affect fertility like they always do, but that's okay. We get scared of Zika. We better go out and do that, and we already have our new Texas cases of Zika popping up. But here it is, Zika virus, ATCC, registered VR-84 trademark. And the trademark, of course, is held, and the patent is by Rockefeller Foundation. Source, blood from experimental forest sentinel rhesus monkeys, Uganda, 1947. References Dick GW, Trans-R, Sock, Trop, Med, Hygiene 46-509, 1952. And now, right on time, Bill Gates has got his mosquitoes. He starts turning them loose. And he, of course, is heavily tied into the Rockefeller Foundation, and all the fun starts. The knowledge of the ancients, tried and true, trusted herbs and extracts fused with the latest nutraceutical science. Introducing the all-new Ancient Defense Herbal Immunity Blend, crafted with over 14 key ancient herbs and extracts to supercharge and prepare your body for what experts admit is the most dangerous season of the year. We have rejected hundreds of other formulations in our quest to bring you what is simply the most powerful and comprehensive proprietary formula that we have ever created in the realm of herbal immunity. For the last 2 years, our team has been working with top doctors, nutritionists, and chemists to develop the ultimate nutraceutical formulation. Experience the benefits of combining over 14 ancient herbs and extracts with exciting new advances in nutraceutical science. Now is the time to secure Ancient Defense for you and your family. Visit ancientdefense.com or call 888-253-3139. That's ancientdefense.com.